Hi there. My name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we are part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where I take a look at the lectionary text tied to an item from the Dollar Tree or the junk drawer, or the kids' room, or the garage. That's how we've been doing it. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. And thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friend, are rocking it. Thank you. Thank you for your partnership in this ministry. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we are looking at the stories of things lost and found. Lost sheep, lost coins, something else that's lost. I'm forgetting right now, but lost things. Let's see if I have it here. And it's a, let's see. Lost. I looked it up anyway. Lost something. I thought I put it in my show notes, but not yet. So we're talking about lost. And the strange thing about this is that when we first see it, we go, oh, isn't that sweet? But it makes no sense. It's so weird. You've got 100 sheep, one goes off, and they leave the 99 to find the one. What? That makes no sense. That's not a very good shepherd. Or maybe it is. It's completely different how we might think. Or you've got, there's all kinds of things in these sayings that at first breath go, what? This is amazing. And then we go, what? This makes no sense. And yeah, grace a lot of times makes no sense. The God continually loves me makes no sense. I know what I've done. Or at least I know what I've thought, and all of that, and God still loves me. God comes to me. Nothing separates us from the love of God found in Christ Jesus. And I'm like, whoa, it makes no sense. And that is a fantastic story. I love it. Now, we can go two directions on this. I'm first of all, I was playing around with the idea that we've got the lost, and then the shepherd goes to find. We've got the coin, and we're going to search this in the entire house, and these things that happen. And so one of the things as I was looking at is there's a whole in old vaudeville entertainment. There is a type of speech that's called double speak, where it's like in that when you're speaking, you're changing consonants. It's almost like Pig Latin in a little bit, but more. And it's like you can look it up, and you've got like where when you're saying stuff, you know what they say. There's a whole story about with Cinderella that's got all that thing. Then as it keeps going, it gets more and more strange. So I was thinking about, that's one of the directions I was thinking about going. The issue, as I was more looking at this, the issue about that is that it can highlight and seem like it's poking fun at someone's speech impediment, someone who's struggling with their own speech. And so I'm steering away from that a little bit, but it helps me. That's the springboard that gets me to think about like jokes that make no sense. I think about Peter, my son, when he was really, really little, and he would say something, and he would say to his grandma, "That's a joke." And finally, my mom, his grandmother, had to say, "Peter, jokes are supposed to be funny." And it wasn't like he was telling a joke that didn't have a punch. He would go, "This is a phone. That's a joke." And so looking in there, but along that line, thinking about the jokes that just make no sense whatsoever, and they're not jokes, and they make no sense, and you're like, what? And I'm looking at God's grace going, God, this makes no sense whatsoever, and yet you still love me. Yeah. So that's one direction. I'm still working on that. It's still percolating back there, and so we're going to leave that over here, and it gives you a springboard to look at that, about how grace comes into our lives, and the fact that grace comes into our lives at all makes no sense, but thanks be to God. So there's that. The other direction is, and I've done a children's sermon this way before, is taking a stuffed animal or a coin and putting it somewhere and hiding it somewhere, and where you take the kids on looking for the coin. One of the ways you could do is you could actually give the coin to someone in the congregation, and then they hand it to someone else, and that gets handed to someone else, and that gets handed to someone else, and you have no idea where it's at, and you need to go through and find the coin. Now, if you've got a very large congregation, you might want to, leave it to the choir, or that you give a coin, but you don't know where in the choir it is. And it's almost that game, button, who's got the button, and all of those things about seeking and finding, and that when we look and then we finally find, and the rejoicing that God searches for us, faithfully searches for us and finds us. And when God finds us, there is rejoicing. So that's the direction. So 2 springboards for this. I'm hoping one of these can be useful for your own children's sermon. And again, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your week with me in this way. And thank you for the love that you're sharing with your kids and your congregation and your families. You, my friends, are rocking it. Peace.